Hello, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world, and be very, very welcome to our first lesson of the free 4-part masterclass, Wake Up Your Eyes. Today we released a video where we taught you about the secret of natural vision improvement and how you can improve your eyesight naturally. And in today's live, we're going to go deeper into tips and the techniques that you can apply in your daily life to improve your vision. We're going to talk about at least five things that you can do in your daily life to improve your eyesight and see better naturally, without glasses, without contacts, without surgeries, without medical treatment. So we are starting a free 4-part masterclass where we are teaching you, actually sharing with you for free, the equivalent of a workshop of $300. Yes, we're going to be talking about, well, in the video that we released this morning, the secret to improving your eyesight without glasses or surgery. I hope you watched that video. And if not, I recommend that you do. We are going to talk about today about 5 keys to improve your vision every day with daily practices. I will share my personal story about how I improved my eyesight naturally at various moments in my life and how I got to do this work nowadays. We will go deeper in the exercises and ideas of the video number 1 that you received by email. Of course, on the way, we're going to share tips and exercises. We will answer your questions. And you will discover some other people who have done it. I am not alone here. Yeah, today I'm with 3 more people. Pamela Contreras from Costa Rica, Diana Delgado from Argentina, but she lives in Florida, and Alicia Masari. I understand that you're Mexican, but you also live in, is it Canada, I think? Exactly. So Pamela and Diana are vision coaches with their proud to be the vision coaches with their diploma in the background, yes. And they are also members of the staff of the ClearSight Method. And Alicia Masari is also a vision coach. I don't see her diploma around, but you were there at the graduation, so voila. And they all had a journey improving their eyesight as well as me, as probably you. If you are here, I imagine that there's good reasons. Thank you, girls. I'll pick you up again to appear. Soon. So I was saying, if you are here, probably there's good reasons for that, right? You are, so one more person from over 5 million people who have participated in this free 4-part masterclass in 192 countries in the world. The only country where we don't have participants are North Korea. This thing that you see, and it's the Falkland Islands, if I'm not mistaken, but we do have people from Norway that have participated. So anyway, where are you from? Where are you watching us from? We love to see where more people are coming from, participating in this global movement of bringing clarity to the world. And do you wear glasses or contacts? If you're here, it's likely that you have some eyesight issue, and that's what motivated you. Maybe you need to take drops for dry eye, or maybe you've had surgery for, I don't know, myopia or strabismus or cataracts, or maybe you actually fear having to have surgery for maybe glaucoma or cataracts or something else. So whatever is your case, I would like to hear what the issue is, where you're from, what the issue is, and if you'd like to learn how to take care of your eyes and improve your vision naturally, you are in the right place for this. Okay, Victor Sanchez from Chicago. And by the way, if there's Spanish-speaking people around here, know that in a couple of weeks, we're going to do this same training in Spanish as well. Yeah. So, and if you also know other people who have eyesight issues, who wear glasses, wear contacts, take drops, or has had a surgery and then has some issues with their eyesight or needs a surgery, tell them, share what you're learning here, let them know that there's an opportunity, there's a possibility. Yeah. Share with the people that you care about. Okay, so Lisa Harper from Utopia, Ontario, Canada, reading glasses and for the computer. Hello, Guy. Nice to say hi to you in Spanish even. Canadian living in Oaxaca. Oh, I live in Oaxaca as well. And the next question is, are you interested or engaged? So if you're interested, it's fine. It's good to have general culture, right? To learn some more things. But it's even better if you're engaged, because if you're committed, then you're not only going to listen to what I talk about, but you're actually going to apply and practice the things that we will share. And it's with the practice, it's with applying the tips and the ideas that we'll share, the tools, the techniques, where you are going to notice a difference in your eyes and in your eyesight. So I read Guy, reading glasses and improving, good for you. And if you live in Oaxaca, why don't we hang out and take, I don't know, a cup of chocolate one of these days. And Audrey, also from Canada, reading glasses and glasses for distance, and you've had a cataract. Okay. So often people who get surgery for cataracts, and first of all, know that cataracts can be reversed many, many times. But if you already had the surgery for the cataracts, it's likely that you now need reading glasses, because usually when they do the surgery for cataracts, they quote, quote, fix the eyesight for seeing far, like for driving and things like that. But when you want to read, if you are not trained, if you haven't trained your eyes, you need reading glasses. And we have had participants that actually one of them became a team member who, after cataract surgery, needed reading glasses. And after going through our training, she didn't need any glasses anymore for anything. So there's a possibility, okay? You can improve your eyesight and allow yourself to let go of those glasses. And my next question, yeah, I'd love to meet you in Oaxaca, Guy. My next question is, have you seen video number 1? Video number 1 was sent by email to all of those who were registered to participate in this free 4-part masterclass. So please, can you share the link, Diana, for people if they want to register? It's something like clearsightmethod.com/wakeupyoureyes, but you need in the beginning the HTTP 2 points / kind of thing. So yeah, the team is going to share the link, and probably you just need to click, and then you can register very, very easily. Oh, and by the way, we also have someone else from Canada, Susan Fly, cataract glasses for distance from Vancouver, British Columbia. Okay. So if you're registered and you watched your email, you probably saw video number 1. And in video number 1, it's very important because we teach the secrets of natural vision improvement, who discovered it, when, why, what are the main ideas behind, and the first and most important technique to practice. Today, we're going to review that practice and answer some questions, but I really invite you to watch video number 1. It's fascinating, and we say things in that video that we don't say here, the same way that here we explain things that we don't explain in video 1. So it's good to do both, yeah? Also, with repetition, you will understand and you'll get the ideas better. Okay, Victor Sanchez watched the video. Congratulations. And now, if you watch the video, Victor and others, did you practice palming? If you haven't watched the video, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you watched the video, you did hear about palming. We're going to review palming a little bit here, so you'll know how to do it. But again, if you didn't watch video number 1, I advise it. Yeah. And if you practice palming, what did you notice? What changes have you noticed in how your eyes feel? Relaxed, moist, and also how your eyes see. What has changed with the practice of palming? A lot of people report that after palming, not only their eyes are more relaxed, but they see better colors, they're more humid, they see better contrast. So it's interesting to notice. And by the way, thank you, Guy. So Guy loved the history. The Arabs invented or set up Society for Invention of Everything. Well, I don't know about everything, but they did invent, they did come up with the idea of what afterwards became the glasses. They were not the ones to create them physically, they just came up with the concept. And then the glasses were actually produced for the first time in Italian monasteries. And in the 13th century, and in the 14th century, if I'm not mistaken, in Great Britain, it was another monk also who started talking about stones for reading. And by the 15th century, you start seeing glasses and things like that, more the monocule kind, in various parts of Europe, certainly in Great Britain, in France, in Italy. And in Italy, optics developed a lot in the Renaissance. So in the case of glasses, the Arabs came up with the possibility of an idea, but they didn't create it. What they did do was actually surgeries, and not just Arabs, but Jewish doctors at the time did surgeries for cataracts. Yeah, 12th century, so probably not very super accurate and precise, but nevertheless, they're the first reported ones. Of course, nowadays we have much better technology for it. Okay, so Sab calling from California. I watched video glasses for distance and reading. Okay, and Guy, that has practiced the palming, says, for me, the change with palming has been the feeling of life coming into my eyes and body like a vibrant energy. The depth of life feels richer and more alive. I love that you express that, Guy. A lot of people get plenty of different benefits from palming. When we do it, and we're going to explain the details of how to do it, but when we do it for eyesight, we create darkness for the eyes, and that has many benefits. And we also create relaxation for the muscles through the heat of the hands. But a lot of people will say also that the hands have energy centers in the palms. And when you're directing the energy to your body through the eyes, not only it improves your eyesight, but it has a calming effect on the nervous system, and it has multiple benefits for your visual system. A lot of people sleep better, have better digestion. They even report that their immune system gets better from palming. So it really is an amazing technique to practice. Very, very happy to hear what you report. Now, I would like to ask you, so Pamela, Diana, Alicia, maybe I'm going to put you like this. Yes, if you don't mind. What were the benefits that you experienced with palming? Because, okay, nowadays you're vision coaches with your university diploma, but you started your journey at some point because you had vision problems like me. And I'll tell my story a bit later, but probably at some point in time, you participated in this Wake Up Your Eyes 3-4-part masterclass, either in Spanish or in English. And the first thing that you practiced was palming. So what happened when you discovered palming? Who wants to go first? Diana or Alicia? Alicia, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. I'll tell you a little bit of my story and why I ended up, meeting this marvelous teacher, Ainhoa, truly. I actually had my retina detached. Why? Because I spent too much time in front of the computer, of course, right? And so just even taking breaks every single day and making this like my lifestyle made a huge difference. Palming, allows you to relax. If you are in front of computers all day long, please take breaks. I mean, of course, going outdoors is a must every single day. I live in Vancouver, Canada. I saw somebody here too as well with this weather that is not very nice. Like today, it's been raining. However, being outdoors is extremely important. But also taking breaks from the computer, it's phenomenal. And palming is one of the best gifts you can give to yourself, to your eyesight, and also to your nervous system, right? Because I mean, I learned from my Noah, it's not just taking a break, it's calming yourself down. Meanwhile, you take a break. Meanwhile, you get your eyes to relax. And of course, to not be looking at the computer all day long. Of course, I work in the computer, as as a lot of people here probably, and that's what really caused, and that was the root cause of my retina detachment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and palming is a basic for any kind of eyesight symptom you may have, because the first principle of natural vision improvement, and by the way, natural vision improvement was invented not by the Arabs at all, but by an American ophthalmologist, Dr. William Bates. The first step is relaxation. And palming is an amazing technique to relax the eyes, to relax the muscles inside and around the eyes. Darkness relaxes the eyes too. It allows for processes of repair that are necessary and that are only possible in darkness. The eyes are part of the brain, and the eyes don't actually relax at night, because while we're dreaming, they're having the rapid eye movement, right? Not all the night, but parts of the night. And if there's any kind of light in your room, your nervous system gets activated. So that's one of the tips that we invite you to take into account and apply in your daily life. Sleep in the dark and apply the palming before you go to sleep. And then your eyes, they don't relax on their own, but if you help them to relax just before going to bed, that night of sleep is going to be deeper, of better quality, and your eyes will be a lot more relaxed. They're going to have the impulse of relaxation into the night. You want to comment or say something else, Alicia?
Yeah, you know what? Every night, that's definitely palming before going to bed. Which, you know what? I know. I mean, I do a little bit of meditation at the same time just to relax. And first thing in the morning, as soon as I wake up, palming goes on again.
Yay, that's really a great practice. Palm before you go to sleep, palm when you wake up, and then you give your eyes a fresh start into the day. And of course, if you can palm here and there a little bit, it's great. Like at your desk, you put your elbows on the desk and you can palm. If you're at home, you're free to do it anytime. And if you work in an office, you can go to the toilet, right? Nobody's going to keep you from going to the toilet, right? So you go do whatever you need in the toilet, and then you sit on with the lid on, and you take a few more minutes for palming. So it's actually really easy to just take a few minutes here and there for palming, and it can make a big, big difference for your eyesight and your overall relaxation and well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a must. And start practicing it all day, basically.
Yes. The only warning is for people with glaucoma, not more than 5 minutes at a time. Yeah. So you could do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the middle of the morning, 5 minutes at lunchtime, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes before going to bed. So you can do 5 minutes as often as you want, but not more than 5 minutes in the moment that you sit to do the palming. Yeah. And if you have glaucoma, high myopia, retinal or vitreous detachment, you will not want to lower your head. Yeah. You will want to have your head upward when you're doing the palming. But other than that, you can do the palming as often as you want and as long as it feels comfortable. Okay, so Pamela, Diana, one of you wants to comment on your first experiences of palming?
Yes.
Okay, let's go, Diana.
Yes, of course. I think that we all remember our first palming because it was so revealing. I remember doing the palming and thinking of my childhood. So, you become emotional sometimes. Well, me all the time. But, and I remember that I was very, very relaxed. And there are some tears in my eyes, but okay, I just let go. And I remember when I took my hands out and I stopped blinking, and I had a night chart, and I started seeing clearer. The light was brighter, and I said, wow, this works. This really works, because after 45 years of wearing glasses with so many symptoms like hyperopia, presbyopia, astigmatism, I started seeing clearer without my glasses. And I remember that. I remember that so clear now. And well, now it's a habit because, we are not the same every day. Sometimes we are very good. We wake up. We are so, wow, we are bright. But sometimes we are like, a bit down. And our eyes feel that too, feel the emotions too. So when you palm just 2-3 minutes when we are in front of the computer, then you see the differences. Even if you are practicing every day, and especially, well, before sleeping, as Ainhoa said, because, well, we dream and our eyes are closed, and you may think, yeah, well, but we rest the eyes. Yes, but no, because the eyes are moving, especially if you have lights in the room. I know that, well, for some people, they need to have a little lamp or something, but especially not the, we are used to having our cell phones in the room, the TV, that light especially, because yeah, you know that through the eyelids, even though our eyes are closed, through the eyelids, the light passes on, so we don't rest. Our eyes don't rest.
And our brain doesn't rest because the
Oh,
eyes are a big part of the brain, and when
yeah.
there's light stimulation, then the nervous system is like on alert mode. It doesn't completely let go and relax. So I'm reading, Angelica, that you are scared of the dark. Actually, that nightlight, I understand that it's reassuring, but it's not particularly good for your eyesight or for your nervous system. And maybe there's some process that you can do with it. Maybe actually for you, it would be extremely good to do palming, because you can do palming in the middle of the day. So you know there's light, and the minute you remove the hands, you're going to be in the light, and you know that you're safe, right? And then you can transform your relationship with darkness and acclimate to darkness by doing these little palmings here and there and transforming this relationship. And then whenever you feel emotionally ready, then it would be better to set yourself up to sleep without the nightlight. It's been discovered in research that kids that sleep with a nightlight are more propense, they have more chances to develop myopia. Myopia has more prevalence in them than children who sleep in total darkness. So there's something there. You were going to say something else, Diana?
I was thinking about Angelica. Try being in the dark, totally dark, with someone else, someone that gives you comfort, and try, I don't know, rehearsing being in the dark, in a dark room, but with someone else, and then you let go, and you will be by yourself. But yes, as Ainhoa said, you have to be friends, and palming is a very good option, because you can do it in the night.
And I don't usually talk about this practice in these classes, but you're mentioning this. One good practice is to actually, so when you're fully awake, very often the bathroom doesn't have a window in many houses, in many cultures, in many countries. So if you go into the bathroom, it's going to be almost dark. Maybe there's a little bit of light that goes through the door or something, but it's basically dark. And it's very good to do some of your personal care, of course, not like putting makeup in the eye or something, but taking a shower, washing your body, maybe even washing your hair. And if you know where the shampoo and the conditioner is and the soap, they're in different places, right? You can do all of that in the dark. And it achieves two things. First, for you to acclimate to darkness and become more friends with it. And also, it activates the rods in the retina. And they're the cells that allow us to see in our peripheral view. And they are most active when there's very little light. That actually improves our eyesight a lot. So for you, Angelica, and everyone else, thanks to Angelica's question, maybe every day or once every 2 days or 2-3 days, once in a while, once a week at least, practice using the bathroom, basic things in the bathroom, with no artificial lights on, and operating in the dark, and see what changes for you. It's going to be very beneficial for your eyesight. Okay, yes, I see also some participants are inviting you to test other things, like maybe you could have a pet nearby or an object of comfort that could help soothe before sleeping, a favorite pillow, something like that. Yeah. Okay. And Adelita is saying that total darkness was difficult for me too, but I got used to it, and now I like it and I sleep better. that is the most common actually result when you do that. So we're sending you lots of love, Angelica, wishing that you are able to step by step do that transformation. Okay, thank you, Diana. Pamela, do you want to say a few words about your first palming and when you started palming? What happened for you? What were your eyesight issues? What happened in these first steps of your journey with natural vision improvement?
Sure, Ainhoa. So the first time that I did palming, of course, it was because I joined this Wake Up Your Eyes free course in Spanish at that moment, right? But for me, well, that was in 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic. So imagine that at that moment, people had a lot of fear. We was, we cannot go outside because everyone needs to stay at home all day and things like that. So I was very stressed. But the first time that I did the palming following your video, for me was like, oh my God, this works. I see the difference. So in my case, what I have was myopia and astigmatism. And just in because I start in 5 minutes at that moment, right? And then I see that I could increase a little bit more of time doing palming. But I remember that I was in the living room of my house, and I see a little shark that I have in the kitchen, and from the living room to the kitchen, and suddenly it was like I able to see it better. So for me, it was a great moment. Was very excited, and since that, I started doing palming and also before sleep and all of that. So yeah, that was my first experience with palming.
Great, great to see that. So very quickly you started noticing the difference and the effects of palming. I'm seeing Mrs. Walks with Purpose. I don't know what your name is. So you are in the computer a lot too, and the palming that you did today is great. It's simple and easy to do during breaks away from the screen, as well as getting sun therapy when going outside. We'll talk about sun and how you can harness the power of sunlight for improving your eyesight tomorrow with lesson number 2. And yes, it is amazing, and it's really great to go outdoors, like Alicia also mentioned. So great. You have some insight on effects and results that people are having with palming. And Victor, no, you don't have to apply pressure. You actually put the hands like a spoon, so you cup the eyes. But the idea is just to bring darkness and warmth, no pressure. Yes, the eyes are delicate, and what we want is for them to relax. Thank you, Pamela. So would you like to keep improving your eyesight? If you've tried the palming and you've noticed the difference, you want to learn more? If so, again, you're in the right place. We are starting this free four-part masterclass or video course. And today, so in the morning, we released video number 1. We sent it to your emails. We had a live earlier in the day that was probably better for people living in Europe, and we're doing this live at a later moment, thinking that maybe it would be better for people living in the Americas. Tomorrow, we will release lesson number 2, where we will talk about 3 exercises that you can do to transform your vision in 5 minutes, really quickly. The vision improvement is so big that we're going to provide actually eye charts and small print characters so that you can notice how much better you can see. And again, we offer 2 opportunities. So we'll release the video in the morning, and we offer 2 opportunities for lives, depending, what's more comfortable for you. And then the day after tomorrow, lesson 3, we'll explain the 15 most common eye problems, and we will give you tips and tools so you can get rid of those symptoms. Again, there will be a pre-recorded video released in the morning, and then 2 options of times to participate in the lives. And on Friday, we will show you the whole scientific process that you can use to see clearly again automatically in your daily life. We'll release the video on Friday morning, And we will do one single live, not on Friday, so that everyone gets their afternoon, their evening free, but on Saturday morning. It will be just one at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Central, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. London, and 7 p.m. Amsterdam. So yeah, we hope to gather everyone together on Saturday morning. So this is the plan for this week. If you want to fully participate in the free 4-part masterclass, Wake Up Your Eyes. These are the schedules for the first live. Yeah, you can take a snapshot if you want, but if you register, you're probably getting reminders and it will be very easy. And the second live, these are the schedules. Basically, it's the time when you're participating now. So you probably already had this figured out. So again, to make the most out of your participation, Diana or Pamela team, can you make sure that the link is there? So that everyone can make the most of it. And now, we've been talking for a while already, like half an hour, and maybe you've heard about me before, or maybe this is the first time you ever hear about me, and you may be wondering, who is this Ainhoa de Federico that is here talking about natural vision improvement and taking care of your eyes and seeing without glasses, contacts, medical treatments, or surgery? So let me introduce myself quickly, professionally, and also let me tell you how I personally also went through a process of vision improvement several times in my life, and then I chose to work on this. Okay, so I am Dr. Ainhoa de Federico. I actually have 3 doctorates, 2 of them PhDs, so one in Spain, one in France, and the third, I was the recipient of a honorary doctorate from a university in Mexico. I'm a tenured professor and researcher at the University of Toulouse, France, on availability at this moment, and I am at the International University of Human Development and Leadership in Mexico. I am the director of the International Center for Vision Coaching, where we deliver the training for vision coaches, the diplomas that you have seen that Pamela, Diana, Alicia have, and also myself, are the trainings that we deliver in this center, where we also do research on natural vision improvement. I'm, of course, the creator of the ClearSight Method, which is a world-class program to improve your eyesight naturally, without glasses or surgery. Yes, this program first started in Spanish. I started teaching it online in 2016, and in 2021, I decided to teach it also in English. Yes. Okay, and this program is based on more than 20 years of personal research. I haven't carried all the research, of course, but I have read the studies. I have been trained and participated in research myself as well. So there's 100 years of information in various disciplines like ophthalmology and optometry, neurophysiology and neurosciences, epigenetics, nutrition, posture, the study of light and its effects on eyesight and health. And also, even if it's more surprising, in social sciences like psychology, sociology, and anthropology or history that explain how eyesight declines, how it can be maintained, and how it improves. And of course, there's also information in lifestyle medicine, health and habits, and in natural vision improvement per se, and vision coaching. So my work in the last 20 years has been to do my own research and also to be updated on what all these disciplines say about the capacities of the eyes to improve or to keep good eyesight for life. And so I've been working for 20 years on this, and I've done my synthesis, yes, and I have put a process, simple step-by-step process that anybody can follow, and you don't need to do all this research or be at the university to take advantage of it. And and use it for your own life in your daily life. I'm also the co-editor and co-author of this international bestseller, A New World of Seeing, A Practice and Perspectives of Natural Vision Improvement. So this is an anthology book publishing 43 authors from 16 countries sharing one extraordinary vision, and that is the fact that you can improve your eyesight naturally. It was published under the umbrella of the AVE, the Association of Vision Educators. So I'm one of the co-editors and of the authors. And this book was released mid-December last year. And for 3 weeks, it was #1 in many categories It was actually in the top 100 in the first 5 days in 11 Amazon stores in many, many countries, in many, many languages, even though it was published in English. Yeah. So, okay, what else? So I'm the director of the Vision Coach degree and the International Center for Vision Coaching. And this diploma, this degree, is the only university degree of natural vision improvement professionals. Yes, there are other natural vision improvement professionals in the world. They have existed for the last 100 years, and they're also doing an amazing work. But I can proudly say out and loud that we are the first ones to have the accreditation of the Secretary of Public Education from Mexico, in this case. So it's an official diploma. It can have the apostilla from this international convention that allows the recognition of official documents like birth certificates and marriages and death certificates. Yes, so university diplomas get to have that. And so we do have it too. And this is the picture of the first graduation ceremony that we did in Mexico. Actually, you three were there. So all three of you were there for that. Yes. Yes, it was a big, big moment for the community. Because as I said, it was the first time that something like this had happened in the history of natural vision improvement. And so we were very, very proud. And besides that, the ClearSight Method is really a world-class natural vision improvement program. We've really received plenty of awards from many countries. I'm not going to detail all the awards, but let's just say that we've received awards in the United States, in Spain, in Brazil, in the UK, in the EU, in Great Britain. Anyway, so a lot of awards, even in 2025, although we're only in April, I've received like 3 or 4 awards already for the work that we're doing through this world-class program. And I'm saying this not to show off, even though, of course, I'm very happy and very proud that this is happening, but because you deserve to know that the information that I'm sharing with you is legit, that it's really valuable, and to encourage you to really take advantage of it, use it, and get the benefits, because you deserve it. Yeah, okay, but I didn't start like this, having awards and being the director of a university degree and having several PhDs and things like that. I was born actually with 3 eyesight symptoms. So at birth, I was born with myopia. I was nearsighted. With strabismus, I had a squint. And with amblyopia, my brain didn't consider the information from one eye. So I had a lazy eye. And I was very lucky to be born in a family of doctors. So my grandfather advised my parents when I was 6 months old for them to see a very good ophthalmologist. She was a professor at the University of Granada in Spain and specialized in children's strabismus. So I was brought there by my parents, and she advised a number of techniques and things that my parents applied. So by the time I was 1 year old, I had perfect eyesight. All of those symptoms were gone. So much, everyone was so impressed that this is one of the 3 stories that my parents always told me at my birthday when I was a kid and even later. So it became kind of an identity story for me, how as a child I improved my eyesight in 6 months. And then it was also proof for me that eyesight could be improved. There were mechanisms and ways to improve it. Yeah. So I grew up with a very strong identity of being someone who could see very well, near, far, during the day, at night. Yes, congratulations. And what I could do, anyone can do too. Yeah. So anyway, so for many, many years, I had a very, very good eyesight, and I was very proud of it. And then in my early 20s, I was a young student in the north of France, where I was setting myself up to do my PhD at the University of Science and Technologies of Lille, north of Paris. And so it was my second year living in Lille. And one day I woke up and I was seeing double and very, very blurry in 1996. So you see, it's a kind of an old story from last century, actually from the last millennium. And so I was very scared. I called my mom at 8 a.m. in the morning. She got even more scared because I would never call her that early. And I told her what was going on. And she was like, my girl, don't call me to frighten me with such news. I cannot do anything for you. Why don't you call an eye doctor? And of course, that was the smart thing to do, right? So because I was so young and recently in the north of France, I didn't know what ophthalmologist to go to see. So I just picked up the yellow pages. Is that story old or what? So I took the yellow pages and I started looking for eye doctors, starting calling them. And the first one, random one, that picked up the phone and gave me an appointment for that very same day, well, I went there in the afternoon, right? Then I realized it was probably not the best idea because usually good restaurants are full, right? Good professionals make you wait because they have a long waiting list. Anyway, but in my innocence, so I went to the first unknown eye doctor that had time that afternoon. And when I went there, so it was winter, it was cold and dark by the time I had my appointment. It was after 5 p.m. And the building where the office was an old building. It was also cold and dark, like with a lot of marble, not very friendly. And when I got into the office, it was also cold and dark. And I'm saying these things because all these factors also impact your visual experience. And the eye doctor, who's not particularly friendly, and I was kind of awkward, didn't know if I could sit down or stay up, or if I could talk or not yet. So, you know, those kind of strange, not very friendly situations. Anyway, when it's obvious that it's my turn and I can say something, I said that the day before I was seeing perfectly and that all of a sudden I was seeing double and blurry. And I asked him why, what had happened. And the question went in and out of his head. I mean, he didn't pay attention to it. And he just sat me in front of a table with a device with many lenses that I would have to look through to see numbers and letters of different sizes and tell him when I could see best. And I remember that I wasn't seeing perfectly well at any moment, but I mentioned the moment when I saw the best. And then he wrote on a piece of paper that I had so many diopters of astigmatism and myopia and double vision. And he told me that I should pay the consultation, of course, and then go get myself glasses that I should wear the rest of my life. And I was in shock, honestly, because the day before I was seeing perfectly. And what I was looking for, first of all, was an explanation and understanding, because when you understand the cause, you can find the solution, right? And he was telling me, without looking for the cause, that there was no solution other than wearing glasses. And I knew that I can see clearly far and near by day and by night. So I was really shocked. It was going against my identity. So I asked again, but why yesterday I saw perfectly and today I don't? Again, he didn't listen to the question or try to answer, and he insisted that I buy myself glasses and wear them for life. So I was really very upset and frustrated. But anyway, I kindly paid the consultation, left, and in the corridor, I ripped the prescription and threw it to the trash. Told myself, I'm not buying this until I don't understand what's going on and what's the cause. So I bless myself for having been that stubborn and enlightened in a way. Anyway, so I went home, I started calling my friends to release the pressure from the experience, and one of them was holding space for me and told me, Ainhoa, I cannot assure you that my doctor will have the solution, but I assure you that he will find or look for the cause with you, that he will inquire to look for the cause of this problem with you. And I was like, fine, I get, yeah, I like that. I buy, I take that opportunity. So I called the doctor. I had an appointment the next day, but it was still winter, of course, but he gave me an appointment in the morning. And the beautiful thing was that even though in the north of France, it was quite rare, it actually happened to be a very sunny day. And I could appreciate the office of the doctor was in a place with lots of trees. It was beautiful. His office had a lot of light, bright colors. He was very warm and welcoming. And he listened to me very attentively. So I told him the same thing the day after, the day before today. I was seeing perfectly. I woke up seeing double and blurry. What might have happened? What is the cause? He listened carefully, and then he started examining me. And after 10, 15 minutes of checking me, he told me, young lady, what you have is sinusitis. And because there's pressure in the sinuses that are around actually the eyes, the nose and the eyes, well, there's pressure that's compressing your eyeball. And when your eyeball is compressed, that is what generates the refractive errors. So I asked her, what's the solution? And she said, well, for sinusitis, the solution is antibiotics. You take antibiotics for 7 days, and normally, once your sinuses stop being inflamed, they're going to stop compressing the eyes, and your eyesight should be back to normal. If it's not back to normal, come back, and we'll look for the next step of what we need to do. So that made sense. Okay, 2 days before I'm seeing perfectly, 2 days later I don't. Something must have happened. So I took those antibiotics for 7 days, and at the end of 7 days, no myopia, no astigmatism, no double vision, nada. So I never went back to see that doctor. And I kind of regret, because now I have no clue who he is, and I would love for him to know the big impact and the big influence that he had on me. Yeah. So this was my second experience of improving my eyesight. At that time, it was from nearsightedness or myopia, astigmatism, and double vision. And so if the first time I healed it at the physical level with stimulation and exercise and things like that, the second time I healed my eyesight, of course, both times with the help of the doctor, at the chemical level, so taking antibiotics. And you can do that also with nutrition and detox. Yeah, so the chemical level has other facets to it. And then fast forward about 10 years, yeah. And so we're now in 2007. I'm already a tenured professor at the University of Science and Technologies in Lille, in the north of France. But I was a guest researcher and professor at the Autonomous University of Barcelona in Spain. And at that time, I was evaluating articles to create a special issue of a scientific journal. Yes. And because I was in the board of several scientific journals and things like that. Anyway, and to do the job faster, I would print the articles with 2 pages in one piece of paper, so I could read faster and do the job more easily. And so I printed it with smaller print. And I realized that I had to put the papers away in order to see them. Maybe some of you are familiar with that experience, the army's too short syndrome. And then when I would be at the subway in Barcelona, I couldn't read the signs of the stops of the subway. So I was not seeing clearly far or near. And I told myself, well, I have improved my eyesight twice already. So I know I can do it a third time, right? By then, I had been studying for at least 5 years, various psychosomatic approaches that consider that if you have a symptom appearing in your body, it is the reflection of tension in your consciousness or emotions that you haven't dealt with or you haven't expressed or you hadn't integrated or transcended. So I thought, okay, I'm studying this approach. Why don't I use it and see if it also works for improving eyesight? Because I know that eyesight can be improved. I have already done it 2 times. I can do it a third time. And maybe this is another way that I can do it. So I went to an eye doctor back in Lille, an ophthalmologist, a lady, to have a diagnose of what was going on with my eyes. I gave myself 2 months to solve the issue. And I told myself that if I wouldn't solve it in 2 months, then maybe I would buy glasses. Yeah. So I went to the ophthalmologist, and she told me that I had actually presbyopia and astigmatism. Yeah. And so I went to my textbooks on these psychosomatic approaches to understand what the presbyopia and the astigmatism meant, why I had developed that in that moment of my life. And it was actually very revealing. In lesson number 3 of this 3-4-part masterclass, I'm going to tell you about the emotional meaning of symptoms. Yeah. So at that time, it was like looking at the mirror, and I didn't necessarily like what I saw, but I had to acknowledge that it was true. My eyes were telling me that I was bored with my life, that I didn't like the projects I was working on, and that I considered the best of my life was behind. So it was like, yeah, a reality check. Yeah. And I had to consider seriously that meaning. Okay. So before 2 months, my eyesight was back to normal, perfect. So I never bought the glasses. I don't even know where that prescription is either. Yeah. So I healed again my eyesight, this time at the emotion level. And so I actually took the message from my eyes seriously. If the project I was doing were boring, not interesting for me, well, eyesight was becoming very fascinating for me. I had improved my eyesight 3 times already. And I was aware that a lot of people in the world have eyesight issues. And I actually wondered when I had had my second experience, if I had listened to the first doctor and I had bought the glasses when I was in my early 20s, maybe I would be wearing glasses today. Because when you start using glasses, actually the eyes get used to them. Actually, when you bought your glasses the first time, what happened? Probably you had your eyesight checked and they told you you had so many diopters of this and that. Yeah, and they told you, well, go to the optician and get some glasses with this prescription. You went to the optician and the optician was like, oh, we need to craft the glasses especially for your eyes. So it's going to take us about a couple of weeks. And in a couple of weeks, we'll give you your glasses to the measure of your eyes. Yeah. So 2 weeks later, and they give you a little paper. 2 weeks later, you go with the paper. So they look in the drawer and they give you the glasses that match the paper. They don't check your eyes anymore at that moment. They only deliver the glasses. And when you put them on, you're like, are you really sure that these are my glasses? Because I don't really see well with them. And check what they tell you next. They tell you, oh, but now your eyes need to get used to the glasses. Ah, how interesting. Weren't the glasses done by measure to my eyes? Why do the eyes have to get used to glasses that have been created for my eyes? It's like if you go to a shoemaker and they make shoes specifically for your feet that they have measured specifically, and 2 weeks later, you cannot even put the shoes on and you cannot walk with them, would you accept from the shoemaker that he tell you now the feet have to get used to the shoes? You wouldn't. How come did we accept it for the glasses? And what happens? Yeah. Well, first of all, if they tell you that your eyes need to get used to the glasses, what are they saying? They are saying that your eyes have the capacity to adapt, the capacity to learn, the capacity to change. Then how about your eyes get used to seeing clearly by themselves? Isn't that a better option? That's what we're going to do here. But now the other part, how come that they measured your eyes, they crafted glasses, and then when you try the glasses, they don't fit, and now your eyes have to get used to them? Well, actually, your eyes are not static. Eyes are living tissue. Your heart is not beating the same all the time. Your breathing is not doing the same or going at the same speed of the time. You don't always have the same blood pressure. You're not sweating the same all the time, and you're not digesting or eliminating the same all the time. Live tissue is changing. Yeah. So what happened? The moment when your eyesight got bad, yeah, there was a tension around your eyeballs, like for me with the sinusitis. So you were tense like this, and you got your eyesight measured. Of course, with this tension, there were some issues. Yeah, so now they created glasses for you for this degree of tension. Yeah, and now 2 weeks later, you're not exactly the same. Probably some of it has released, maybe not completely, because if it was completely released, you would be seeing well. So now you go to the optician with this degree of tension, and they give you glasses that you have to get used to so that you can see clearly. So you need to get back to this degree of tension so you can see clearly through those glasses. This is very tiring too. So now you understand why when you wear glasses, actually you're chronifying chronifying the eyesight issues. And Antonio Medina, who's a researcher at the MIT, has discovered how people who wear glasses, their eyesight declines faster than people who don't wear glasses. So this is another recommendation that we make for you, and that is to wear your glasses as little as reasonably possible. Safety first. If you need them for driving, please use them. We don't want you to have a car accident or to injure anyone. If you're going to use dangerous tools, yeah, use them. Or if you need to do a specific job that requires a lot of precision, like, I don't know, an accounting spreadsheet, maybe you need the glasses. But maybe there's many opportunities during your day where you don't necessarily need the glasses to be functional. And when you remove the glasses or the contacts, you're creating space for your eyes to get active again and to improve and to start functioning and to get used to seeing by themselves. And of course, there's other tactics, techniques, and exercises that we're going to teach you here that will help that process as well. Okay, and I see that Mrs. Walks with Purpose is saying you got really great points there. Well, I'd like to turn on the light in my room. So if Pamela, Diana, Alicia, any one of you want to share something at this moment, I'll give you the mic. Any one of you want to talk? Pamela, Diana, raise your hand, please. Okay, Alicia. Okay.
Sure, I can share with you. I can share with you a little bit of my story. I know I also had sinusitis for a long time, actually. It was just not fun to have that. My eyesight, actually, when I was 14, that was the first time they told me I had to wear glasses. But then they said, no, wait till you're older. And then they told me, oh, after you have babies, you know, I have 3 kids. After having babies, probably you will need glasses again. So here I am wearing glasses when, you know, when I was 35 or something like that when I started wearing glasses. But I spent a lot of time on the computer. The problem is, like Ainhoa says, is like you start wearing a pair of glasses, and 4 or 5 years later, guess what? You're used to them, but then they give you the next, you know, the next generation, or you know, like you need more and more and more all the time. But again, your eyes are getting used to the new prescription. Actually, no, I just had somebody who contacted me the other day, and she said, oh, I just went and got new glasses. And I'm like, why did you? She goes, and I'm getting nauseous. Now, I don't know why I'm getting nauseous. I'm like, it's the new glasses. She stopped wearing them. Nausea was gone. So it's just like the different type, right? The different way in which the body reacts to something. But as you say, the eyes are so important for everything. Like that is probably one thing that you never would love, you know, you really need to take care of them.
Yes, it's interesting because a lot of people need to take a lot of time to take care of the glasses, to take care of the contacts. How about if you put that focus on your eyes instead of on your glasses? Yeah, better to have your eyes work instead of have clean glasses or clean contacts, etc. So I'm actually reading Brenner Solano. She's saying, so I've had nearsightedness, I wear contact lenses, and now I need reading glasses. Also, I have astigmatism. Will this help with that? Absolutely, yes. I've had nearsightedness. I've had astigmatism. Some of you here, you've had retinal detachment, some may have had hyperopia. We've had these symptoms and we got rid of them. So anything that we can do, you can do. We're humans. We have the same software and hardware. We're not anything exceptional. We just learned the principles, applied them, and we got the results. This is why I was saying interested or committed. If you're interested, it's nice to hear these ideas, but if you apply them, then you'll see the changes. And yes, it's better to do the exercises with no corrective lenses. Again, safety first. If you need your glasses to do something that's needed for your work, or if you need the glasses for safety, wear them. But all the other times in the day that you can go by without them, remove the contacts and remove the glasses. And actually, glasses are easier to remove from your face than contacts. So if you want to choose, and it's a choice, if you want to choose to improve your eyesight naturally, maybe for the period of the training, the period of the transition until you see well, it's better to not use the contacts and use glasses that you can remove easily. And tomorrow we're going to teach you about alternatives to glasses. We're going to teach you about other tools that you can use in the process of vision improvement. But we're going step by step. Yes?
Yeah. Can I say, and I'll tell you another story. This year I had to go renew my driver's license. And of course, here in this country, you renew your driver's license every 5 years. But 5 years ago, yeah, I had to wear eyeglasses, to drive. And this year I'm like, you know what? Can you double check my eyesight again? It's like, oh, you don't need glasses to drive. So that was removed from, I don't need glasses to drive anymore. And that is the beauty of, it doesn't matter. I'm 64 already. It doesn't matter how old you are. Like how much you exercise your eyes, how much you take care of them. And yeah, I see all these questions. It's like, oh my gosh, does this work for this? Does this work for the other? I mean, it works for so many things, right?
Yeah. So Victor is having an interesting point. I had the impression that you have to use glasses, otherwise your sight deteriorated, and you're seeing the opposite. Well, I'm going to give you an example. You break your arm and you put a cast. Do you think that wearing the cast for the rest of your life is going to improve the state of your arm? No, it's not. At some point, you need to remove the cast. And of course, you need some help to rehab the arm. You're not going to just go on your own. You need some help from a physiotherapist, and you'll do some specific exercises, and then you can recover the functioning of your arm to the best, right? So in a way, we could say the natural vision improvement is the equivalent of this physiotherapy for the eyes, so you set your eyes up for success again. You don't want to be wearing the crutches for the rest of your life. Okay, if you need them at some time, use them for that moment. But if your objective is to recover the capacity of your own body to see clearly on its own, then you're going to be wanting to use them less and less until you don't need them anymore. Yeah, they're a tool. I'm not saying that they're bad. It's not good, bad, yes, no, black, white, all or nothing. They're a tool. They have their place. But a tool that is supposed to help you see better, you should be using less and less. And most people, when they start wearing glasses, they realize that they become dependent and they wear them more and more. So we need to do something else so that we can give our eyes the capacity to function by themselves. And Guy is like, hooray for the no glasses, Alicia.
Yes, believe me. It's so nice to get in the car and it's like, oh, I don't have to wear glasses anymore. Believe me, it's amazing.
And this is a very common experience of people in our community. Alicia is not the only one. This is not exceptional. This happens every other day. Yeah. So, yes.
Can I just say another story for one of my classmates? This fellow in Colombia, he was blind. Okay. Now he is driving without glasses at night. Okay. This is just an unbelievable story, but I love him. I mean, his name is Carlos. He lives in Colombia, but truly, he was blind. Yes. He is driving without glasses at night.
Yes. So I'm also showing Diana because Carlos was a classmate of both Diana and Alicia, and indeed he came into the training completely blind from one eye, and the other he didn't see all that much. And one of the eyes seeing perfectly everything, and the other one is seeing really a lot. And we saw him moving around in Mexico. He also got his degree. And him and his wife were both like almost levitating of happiness of the transformation that he's experienced. Yeah. The levitating is figurative. Let's be levitating is really a way of seeing. Recover his eyesight. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you've heard these stories, and probably you'll hear more from Diana, from her story, and maybe Alicia, and certainly Pamela, but let me talk about more interesting, useful ideas for you, so you recover your own eyesight, yeah? And the first thing that we need to talk about is the secret of natural vision improvement. And the first researcher, eye doctor, that talked about it, an ophthalmologist from the United States, Dr. William Bates, explained how focusing functions in the eyes. Conventional ophthalmology is using a hypothesis from the 19th century, from 1955, the hypothesis of Helmut I never know how to pronounce this name, a German name. Let me see. Hermann von Helmholtz. Sorry if I mispronounced. So he's the one that proposed that the crystalline has a very important role in focusing. And it is true. It's just that it's not the only mechanism. Yes? If we compare focusing in the eye with focusing or creating a sharp image with a projector against a screen or a wall, if you want for the image to be sharp on the wall or the screen when you're projecting, you're going to do two things, right? First, you're going to put the screen, the projector at the right distance compared to the screen. Because if it's too far or too near, it won't work. And the second thing you will do, you will fine-tune the focusing with a little wheel that moves the lens in the projector. Is it making sense what I'm saying? I mean, anyone that's worked at a corporation or a university or something using screens and projectors, we know that. Well, sometimes now they're on the ceiling and they're fixed, but they're already at the right distance, right? Okay, so with the eye, we have the equivalent two mechanisms. The first thing that we need to do is to create the right distance between the cornea, which is where the light gets in the eye first, and the retina, which is where the light is projected, so that the information goes through the optic nerve. Let's see, through, okay, I pushed the button that I didn't want. So through the optic nerve, yeah, into the cornea, into the retina, which is of course inside the eye. And that's where the photosensitive receptors get the light impulses and they transform them into nervous impulses, and then they go through the optic nerve into the brain. And so, okay, now we need to say also that the main organ for vision is actually not the eye, but the brain. Okay, but let's stay at the level of the eye. Okay, even we can train our brain to see a lot better. We'll talk about that at another moment, but let's stay at the level of the eye. So the first thing the eye needs to do is to create the right distance between the cornea and the retina, like with the projector, right? And the second thing the eye needs to do is the fine tuning, like with the little lens on the projector. So how do we change the distance between the cornea and the retina? Very easy. You see in the model, there's a number of muscles around the eyes. There's 4 recti muscles up and down and to the sides. And then there's 2 oblique muscles, yeah, that are surrounding the eye like a belt. Okay, let me show you another model. In this model, you can see the recti muscles a lot better, at least the one at the top and the outside. And there's a recti muscle there and there too. And the oblique muscles are going up and down. So in a way, if I show with my little balloon, the oblique muscles, they're surrounding the eye like a belt. And the recti muscles, they keep the eye in the socket, and they're also helpful to move our gaze to things that we want to see. Now, these muscles are 400 times stronger than what is needed just to move the eye to the direction of we want to see. They have a secondary function, or maybe a primary function. And that function is to change the length between the cornea and the retina. When we want to see near, yeah, the oblique muscles tense and they create like a zoom effect, and we can focus near. And when we want to see far, the oblique muscles relax, and if needed, the recti muscles exert a little bit of pressure, and they create the conditions to focus far. Yeah, so our eye can change the shape. Actually, 1 millimeter of the difference of the eye, of the shape of the eye, creates already 4 diopters. And by the way, a diopter is a measure of the power of a lens to change the direction of light. And we have 2 lenses in the eye, yeah? So the light is bouncing, the light that comes from the sun bounces on objects, and some of those rays are going direction of our eye. And of course, the eye has several transparent layers. The cornea, which is the stronger lens in the eye, it's 38 to 42 diopters strong. Then the light goes through the aqueous humor. It's just like water there with some proteins and things, but anyway, it's very liquid. Then it goes inside of the pupil. The iris is the thing that gives the color, blue, green, brown to the eye, and the black dot in the middle, it's actually a hole. So light goes through that, and then it finds the crystalline. The crystalline helps for the fine tuning And the fine-tuning happens because the ciliary muscles that are around the crystalline, they tense, so the crystalline bulges up and creates a magnifying effect. Yeah, and the ciliary muscles can relax, and then the crystalline becomes flat, and we can focus far away. So it goes through the crystalline, and then the vitreous humor, which is like, you know, like, I don't know, shampoo or conditioner, but it's transparent, like the liquid, the kind of gel or soap that we use in the shower. Yeah, something like that. And then we have the retina, and all this inside of the eye is covered by photosensitive cells that are connected to the optic nerve, and then it goes to the brain. And this yellow part here is the macula and the fovea, and it's the most, it's the part of the eye that has the most cones, which are the cells that allow to see color and precise, and they tend to be, they're just in front of the pupil. Yeah, so when there's a lot of light, this part is very stimulated. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. So I showed you the different parts, body parts in the eye, and how focusing works. And actually, you heard two mechanisms, like when you want to project an image on the wall. The cornea together with the oblique and recti muscles, because the cornea also changes shape when the eye as a whole is changing shape, and it becomes more bulgy or more flat, and then the crystalline. Yeah, so in a normal eye that is flexible and relaxed, and when we look near, there's several muscles that are making an effort. So the ciliary muscles around the crystalline and the oblique muscles. When we're looking far, it tends to be more relaxed because the ciliary muscles are relaxed and the recti muscles don't have to work as much. And so this gives us a basis to understand the common refractive errors. Someone that has a myopic eye, an eye with myopia, we are told that eyes with myopia are too long. So they can focus near, but they cannot focus far. So why is the eye too long? Because there's tension in the oblique muscles. So what is the solution? Relax those muscles and allow the eye to become the normal shape. And what is an eye with hyperopia or a far-sighted eye? We're told that it's an eye that is too short. But what is making the eye too short? The tension in the recti muscles. Relax those eye muscles and the eye can have the normal shape to focus at any distance it wants again. And what is presbyopia? Well, presbyopia is too much tension in the ciliary muscles that keep the crystal in a position in a way that it cannot bulge up to see sharp near. And what is astigmatism? Irregular tensions in the recti muscles that create a distortion. They create rugby shape of the cornea and the eye instead of a basketball shape for the eye. And so the lines arrive distorted to the retina. Yeah. So we understand now that those four most common refractive errors, which are the most common vision problems that most people have, are actually only due to muscle tension. And muscles can be relaxed. Muscles can be trained. Anyone who's practiced yoga or martial arts or who has learned to play the piano or to type, right, knows that we can train our muscles to do different things. Yeah. So how about you give yourself the challenge or the objective or the goal to learn how to train the muscles in your eyes so you can focus at any distance at any age. And I'm telling you that it's possible. It is possible. Okay, so we talked about focusing and the role of the extraocular muscles for focusing. Now, one question, one way to show also the importance of relaxation for the muscles to work as needed for focusing at different distances is we're going to test that with our arms, yes? And we're going to see how our arms can move when we have a lot of tension. Yeah, so let's go ahead and tense our arms and our hands and our fists. And now that we're in the middle of that tension, try to move your fingers or try to move your hands. It's just not possible. You need to relax and then you can move your fingers. Of course, there's muscle tonicity, but the context needs to be relaxation. Okay. So Jane is saying, you are the first person to acknowledge that my blur and double vision could be from my chronic severe sinusitis. Yes. So you need to handle the sinusitis. I can help you with the eyes. Yes. And probably as you bring more relaxation into the eyes and the area, that could help the sinusitis. I'm not promising, but it's a possibility. I'm not a sinusitis specialist. I'm an eyesight and vision specialist. Yeah. But at least I can tell you that there is hope, that the double vision and the blur can go away if you work with the practices that we can teach you here. Okay? So now, palming. Why is palming so important? Well, if the cause of most refractive errors is tension in the muscles of the eyes, then what is the solution? Relaxing the muscles of the eyes. And palming is a magnificent tool to do that. Because when you palm the eyes, you're bringing them darkness, and darkness is very useful for the eyes because it allows for the nervous system to relax, as we said, and also for a certain protein, a kind of protein that allow these photosensitive cells to see contrast and seeing colors, so the opsins to be regenerated. But also the palming generates heat from the palms of your hands and the energy of your hands, and that relaxes all the muscles in your eyes. And so it creates a context so that your eyes can focus again. Okay, now Pamela, Diana, Alicia, one of you would like to explain how you do the palming? Okay, Pamela, let's go with you.
Sure. So the first thing that we do with palming, and the name of palming is because we use the palm of our hands, right? So one of the first things that we are going to do is we can check our hands, right? Or also rub our hands so we can have it a little bit more warm. With the warm, our eyes will feel better and will receive all the nice energy and relaxations that we are looking for doing the palming. So we also going to look for a position where our neck can be straight. You can use pillow, for example, or something that you can put your elbows, right? So you're going to put your hands and your palms in your eyes. Always is one of the frequent questions that we receive. And I know I will explain that. Is if we do the palming with the eyes open or closed. So we do it with our eyes closed. But before that, maybe you want to just ensure that any light is coming through your fingers, right? So what we want is to see completely dark with our palms and our fingers. We also going to make sure to breathe, right? We don't want to lose our breathing because otherwise we will lose our oxygen and we are not going to relax. And we want to relax while we are doing the palming. So you will stay there and you can imagine the black color. That's one of the tips that we always teach, right, Ainhoa? To always try to see, try to imagine. If you cannot do it, you can imagine the black color while you are palming. So this is the position. We also have some other positions, for example, before to go in bed, right? I normally, what I do is I put the pillow so I will try to do it right while I'm sitting, but it's a little bit hard, but you can imagine. So you will be in your bed, right? You will going to put your pillow and your elbows here. So that will help you to not have tension in your shoulders. And you are going to put also your palms and your hands to do the palming. And in my case, I love to do palming before sleep. And many times I just fell asleep and I didn't realize that I fell asleep doing palming. So this is a it's a good way to relax your eyes before to sleep.
Absolutely. Like Alicia said, it's great to do palming just before going to sleep. or first thing in the morning. It's a great practice that you can introduce in your daily habits, like you probably take a shower, brush your teeth, floss your teeth, do the mouthwash, comb your hair, put cream on your face, or things like that. So why not introducing a little bit of palming every day before you go to bed, or when you wake up? And actually, we have put together this little document with the most frequently asked questions about palming. If you have some more questions, we can answer them also. And so first thing is that you do the palming without glasses. It doesn't work like this, right? So you also do it without contacts, yes? And you can do it as long as it feels good for you, yes? There's no restriction of time, except if you have glaucoma, high intraocular pressure, then don't do it more than 5 minutes at a time. If you have high myopia or retinal detachments, then you need to keep your position straight, yeah, like cushions on the table or something. I think that someone called on the door, so I'm going to leave you a moment, Diana and Pamela, and talk about the position, etc. Some of these things Pamela already said, but you can go ahead and repeat them so it's clear for everyone. And I'll be back.
Okay.
Sure. Diana, you want to share something?
Yes, it's important when we talked about the posture, especially for those people with detachments or glaucoma or high myopia, as Pamela explained, to put a pillow, a cushion, and you can rest your elbows and keep an upright position, but relax and think of not putting pressure on the orbit, on the eyes. You cup your hands, okay, and do not put pressure. Just relax, breathe normally, and especially pay attention to your neck, the right posture, okay? Be aware of being relaxed, but conscious of not creating tension, okay? It's so good when you go to sleep and before sleeping, you are there, resting, laying down, and you do this, but you put the pillow. That's why we explain that, to not
Yes.
create more tension in your neck, in your elbows, everything.
Yeah, so since you're talking about posture, so you can do the palming sitting or laying or at the table with cushions to adapt the height of the elbows on the table. You can also, let me change chairs. You can also, so this is a kind of a standard chair. Turn the chair around so that you use, let me put this lower so you can see it. You can use, I really have to put it very low, but anyway, you can use this part of the chair to hold your elbows so that you can do the palming. Of course, we said you can do it in the toilet. Yeah, you could use your thighs or your knees to put the elbows there to hold your head. Just this position that we call the thinker's position. If you have high myopia, retinal detachments, glaucoma, you don't want to do it like that. Yeah? And can you, one of you, comment on the next point?
Closed eyes and darkness. That's so important. As Pamela was explaining, yeah, we close our eyes. We can check when we have already our hands on, cupped hands here. You can just open your eyes to see if there's any light coming through the fingers and then close them in totally darkness. And you will enjoy, because darkness is so good to regenerate those opsins in the eye, especially in the retina, the rods, and
Yes.
that they are good to see during the night, or the peripheral vision. Those are so important tips. Totally
Yes.
dark. Yes.
Now, Pamela, do we do something with our hands when we're doing the palming? Are we clapping? Are we? Do we get that question sometimes? Yeah.
Definitely no. We just keep our hands in that position for the time that it's good for us and that we feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But we don't do anything else with our hands while we are palming.
No pressure, no clapping, no stretching. It's just a very relaxed position. Now, the position of your hands, and I'm going to put us like this. So the technique is called palming, which means it's the palm of the hands that go to the eyes. It's not called fingering, because sometimes I see people doing like that. No, it's really the palms. Yeah. And yes, if you only have one hand or one arm is in a cast, well, you can palm each eye alternatively to do it. I was seeing that Victor Suarez is saying, I tried palming without rubbing my hands, and I can see much better when I rub my hands than when I don't. Indeed, you can like shake the hands so they're relaxed. You can rub them so they are warm, so you activate the energy in the hands, and then that's going to work much better. Absolutely. Good that you did the test, and then you know for yourself. Yes, I confirm that's the right thing to do it. Great. And also Guy is like, wow, I've been palming for 3-4 minutes on and off during this session, and now I was able to read the title, Questions About Palming Without My Glasses. There you go. Congratulations.
Great.
Okay. So more questions or details about palming. While you palm, Pamela was already saying, you don't want to give yourself from breathing, right? Allow ample and deep breathing. Your eyes and your brain consume 25% of the oxygen that you breathe, even though their weight is about 5% of the weight of your body. So yeah, you really need to be breathing well. And palming is much better than using a blindfold or being in the dark. Of course, sleeping in the dark, we already said, is very useful. Sometimes if you're traveling, using a blindfold allows you to sleep in the dark, but palming really has an extra thing to it because of the energy and the warmth of your hands, yeah? So do the palming even if you sleep in the dark or you have a blindfold. And now, how long you do the palming, as long as you please, only the warning of the 5 minutes for people with glaucoma. Now, more questions about palming. How many days do I need to do the palming in my life? My question is, how many days you drink water or brush your teeth or shower? Right? This to become a daily practices. So, how many times a day? Do you want to comment one of those key points, Pamela, Diana?
Sure. So as you say, I know how many days is like, for me, it's like a new habit in my life. Well, I don't call it as a new habit because I already have it, right? But it's a new habit that you need to incorporate in your day by day, right? And how many times a day, as much as you want, right? And for example, if you work a lot of hours in front of a computer, make sure to take times during your working day to do palming. That is a great way to relax your eyes and help them to rest from seeing the screens. Yes.
Yeah, and you can do it before sleeping. When you wake up, it relaxes your eyes, your mind, your body, your sleep when you go to sleep. And at the end of palming, once you remove your hands, you can like blink lightly as if your eyes were a butterfly, right? And that's a very good way to end the palming so that you get your eyes used to light again. We'll guide you through this in another of the lessons. You'll see more specifically how we can do it. You could have different sensations when you are doing the palming. So most of the time you'll feel your eyes relaxed. Sometimes you'll feel them stretch or become open. And like Guy or others mentioned, you will notice that you can see much better or you can see much brighter. Now, sometimes when you have had a lot of tension in the eyes, you may feel unusual sensations. You become aware of the tension in your eyes. You could have a headache because the muscles that allow for focusing in the eye are connected to other muscle groups through the fascias and the connective tissue. And the reflective part of in your body of the eyes is the stomach. So the same way a lot of people get nausea when they start wearing glasses, like Alicia was telling about her friend, when you remove the glasses and you do palming, sometimes you may feel nausea too. But now you're reversing the problem. Actually, you are improving. So while it's a bit uncomfortable, it's actually a good sign if you're getting headaches or nausea. Not nice, but a good sign. Now you can add to the palming music, scents, meditations, affirmations. And now, Pamela, Diana, is palming useful for the symptoms that people have?
Sure, for all symptoms. Is
Yes.
one of the starts techniques,
Yes.
natural vision improvement.
And palming is good for any symptom because palming is providing something that your eyes need to see, which is relaxation. So whatever is whatever is your symptom, palming is going to help you.
And I know, if I can mention, even if you don't have any symptom, I mean,
Yes, of
doing
course.
palming will be keep you in that
Good
know,
eyes. Yes,
yes,
like
good eyesight. Yes,
teeth keeps your good teeth.
yes. Not because I have good teeth, I don't brush my teeth, right? So
Or only if I have a cavity, I brush my teeth. No, you brush your teeth because you want to keep your teeth
yeah,
well. Okay, so Margot is saying, like, my husband and I tried it before dinner for 5 minutes. Feels so good. I'm going to do it again before bed. Okay, a question. My husband will have brachytherapy in 3 weeks for an ocular melanoma. I'm thinking this will be very comforting and healing after they remove the plaque. What do you think? Absolutely. I would invite your husband to be doing palming every day before the surgery and after the surgery as well. It will prepare for a better recovery. So yes, this is absolutely a recommendation for him. And Barry's saying, I did some in the sun and things were so bright afterwards. Absolutely. You can compare before and after doing palming, and especially if you're in the sun, you're going to notice a difference. And now another tip. Yeah. You can do palming at any age, right? If you're in your 90s, your 80s, your 70s, your 60s, your 50s, your 40s, etc., you can do palming. And for kids, it works too. So earlier I was showing, you're gonna laugh. So if you have your kids and you can teach them to do it, or you can do it to them when they're in bed on their eyes, or you can also sit them on your lap and you cover their eyes with your palms. Yes. And I was showing that because I didn't have anything else to show. I only had like my little skull guy, and it was very funny because the moment I was showing this, yeah, so you can palm, then the jaw was falling and it was made us all laugh. Anyway, you get the picture. So now I have this stuffed baby sloth that allows to show this better. Yeah, a stuffed sloth, because lately I was in Costa Rica. So you sit your baby on your lap and you can gently cover the eyes, much better to notice. Yeah, the sloth is much more friendly than the little skull. So, and you can cover with with the hands, the eyes of your baby, the kid, and then you help the baby do the palming. And then the baby learns how to do palming and can do the palming itself in the future. Yes? Much more gentle, the little sloth. Okay.
so lovely.
So cool. Yeah, and it's so lovely that you touch your baby or any, I don't know, a kid, and that contact with skin and the face is so nice. It's so relaxing, you know? Yeah, when you are hugged or when you hug someone, yeah, it's so relaxing. That's why it's so important to rub, if you want to rub your hands. But it's, as we said before, to use a because, well, yeah, if you want to use it, but the hands provide warmth, energy, care. So that's better, and that relaxes more, right?
We touch the people that we love, and when we are touched by people that love us, it's even better. So we can also share the palming with someone. Yes. Okay, so Diana, you're becoming a little bit blurry, and sometimes the
Yeah.
sound's a little bit on and off. I don't know if you can
Sure.
with the internet. Yeah, maybe you can check that at home. Anyway, so the eyes need, and this is why palming is good for all eyes, any eyes. The eyes need to see better relaxation. Palming is an amazing provider of relaxation. Movement, we're going to talk about this more in another lesson. Paying attention to details, we will talk about this in lesson number 2, so that is tomorrow. They need stimuli, so if you're curious and interested in things and there's things that you love seeing, that's good for the eyes, it's good stimulation. They need contrast, so darkness, light, far, near, looking up, looking down, looking at the center, paying attention at the periphery. So everything that's contrast is good for your eyesight, and we'll talk more about this in another lesson. They need light, sunlight particularly. We'll talk about that tomorrow. They also need specific nutrition and detox. We'll talk about that later on. They need hydration. They need for you to drink water, and they need to be moist. And they need oxygen. That's why breathing is so important too. So if you're providing these things for your eyes, for your eyesight will improve. Yeah? And now we already gave you a bunch of tips and exercises without you maybe noticing. So let's be explicit about all of them. Yeah? With Pamela and maybe with Diana if she's back. So one more exercise that we can teach you. Blinking. Can you tell us, Pamela, the advantages of blinking?
So blinking, first of all, naturally we blink, right? But, or however, since we sometimes are in front of screens many hours, we forget to do it, right? But yeah, something like that. And we are like,
the computer doesn't blink, so we're looking at the
yes, we don't want to lose any detail, right? So that's why we are like not blinking. So we lost that habit, right? And create more tension to our eyes. So blinking is a way to also relax our eyes and also make it that they are moisturized or wet all the time, right? Every time that we blink, we provide that wet that we need in the eye to see clear, right? So, and also every time that we blink is kind of a mini, short, little time of darkness, right? And as you explained before, I know how important is the darkness for our eyes. Is also blinking give us that every time that we blink, we are having that time with the darkness.
Every time we blink, we also have a mini pause for the muscles that can relax from whatever focusing they were doing at any distance. And the tear is distributed in the eye, so it removes any dust or whatever thing that doesn't need to go away, like put to the trash. And also it creates a very thin layer of tear on the cornea, making it more regular and more perfect for focusing. So really, blinking is absolutely amazing for good eyesight. And most of us don't blink enough. So if you're spending a lot of time at the computer, like we said, right, put a Post-it someplace saying blink, blink. So every time you see it, you remember and you do it. We're going to do a little test, if you allow, a little exercise to show to you the effect of blinking or not blinking. If you don't blink enough, or if you blink enough, it's going to feel different. So now we're going to exaggerate, and we're going to spend 30 minutes, sorry, not minutes, that would be impossible, 30 seconds. 30 minutes would be horrible. 30 seconds is already very hard. We're going to spend 30 seconds trying not to blink, and then we're going to spend 30 seconds blinking about every second. And we're going to see the difference for our eyes. Do you want to do it with me, Pamela?
Yes.
Okay, and I invite, of course, everyone to do it at the same time. So I'm going to set the timer of my phone at 30 seconds. Yeah, I usually cannot go beyond like 14 seconds without blinking. We'll do our best and try not to blink and see how our eyes feel when we don't blink, what it does for our eyes when we don't blink and we don't blink enough. Okay, so ready, start, go. There. Okay. My eyes are burning already. Oh my God. Ugh. That was 6 seconds. My goodness. Okay, you blinked also. Okay, try hard not to blink. Oh my God, the eyes are burning. Ah, I couldn't not blink anymore. Anyway, let's keep not blinking. Oh my God, they're burning again. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Oh my
Oof,
God.
it's hard.
How do your eyes feel when you're trying not to blink, Pamela?
Definitely not good. I start to feel, as you say, like burning, like I want to cry and blink, and I start to see blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And some people say when they don't blink, like they feel that they're becoming more tense. The ears are dry or watery and irritated and tense. Anyway, I would love to see in the chat if you've been practicing as we were doing the 30 seconds. What did you feel when we were doing this practice? Diana, let's see if we got you back. Did
Yeah.
you do it?
Yeah.
How did you
Yeah.
feel? Not
Oh, I don't know. My whole body was like, blink, please, blink. Yes. And my eyes started like, my eyelids like, flickering, like, please, shut.
So
Yeah.
now we're going to do the other. So, okay. So Guy is saying, I can spend a lot of time not blinking on the PC. No problem for me to go 30 seconds without blinking. Okay, one thing is that you're capable of doing it. The other thing is if it's good for your eyes. And I'm telling you, it's really not. So if you have the habit of not blinking in front of the computer, really make it a point to blink if you want to improve your eyesight, really. So now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to blink. Shelly was like, I made it to 12 seconds before blinking. Okay, so there's the resistance, but it, again, not good for your eyesight. Yeah, it's actually very irritating. So we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to remove you, Diana, for the sake of being able to see the phone. And we're going to blink at about every second. And you're going to check how your eyes feel when you're blinking at about every second. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Blink, 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 blink. So, how did that feel, Pamela?
much better, much better. I completely notice the difference between not blinking and blinking every second, right? Because even every second gives you more freshness. In my case, that's what I feel like fresh in my eyes. They feel like free to move, free to blink, free to be. It's completely different, the sensations.
Yeah. Usually, people, when they blink, they feel more relaxed. They see that they see better. The eyes are more comfortable. They don't hurt. They're not itching. Actually, so Margot is saying much, or Shelly, much better, not dry or irritated. Great. Or Margot, more lubrication on the eye. Indeed. Now, I noticed because we did this very same live a few hours earlier, right, Diana? You were with me.
Yes.
Earlier in the day, actually, it wasn't comfortable not blinking and much better blinking. But now we're later in the day, so it's normal to be a little bit more fatigued, right? I noticed the contrast much bigger, like in the evening than in the morning. Was that the same for you too, Diana?
For me, when we did the opposite, when of not blinking, I
Yeah.
could stay longer now at this time of the day. Here it's 9 p.m. for me. But today, with the natural light, because this room was all lighted, I couldn't, I start blinking at the 2, 3 seconds. But now that we are doing blinking, blink. I'm like, falling asleep, really. It's preparing, yeah. It's getting ready. The system is already, the brain knows you have to go to sleep. And this pausing, blink, it was wonderful. Yes.
Yes. So very interesting, Victor Sanchez. I waited for 30 seconds without blinking. Oh my God. And started to see blurry. There you go.
Yeah.
And when you weren't blinking, you noticed that you could see more clear and sharp. So you've seen with your own eyes. Yeah. And Heidi's like, yes, I'm getting tired. Well, yeah. Okay. I get it. So maybe we're going to speed up so everyone can go to bed.
Oh, it's okay. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know the thing is that nowadays we don't realize that we are not blinking. For us, it's natural not to blink. Well, we are in front of the screen working, all of that. So that's the important thing to be aware of.
Yeah, and actually, the normal pace of blinking, the natural way of blinking, or the optimum blinking, is about every 2 or 3 seconds. Yeah, if you're blinking every 2 or 3 seconds, you're fine. If you blink every second, it's okay too. But going past or beyond those 3 seconds, you're actually making your eyes tired. Let me see. So Guy is like, the blinking was like an energizing pranayama. So lovely, the energy going through my face. Okay, you're very sensitive to energy, Guy. It's so interesting. When you do the palming, you feel yourself being energized as a whole with the blinking. So you can see the interest and the beauty, the usefulness of the practices that we're showing. So Alberto is asking about dry eye. Actually, if you want to not have dry eye, blinking is a very important practice to do. And we're going to tell some more. But I'm very, very interested to see that you felt different. Now, let's go explicit about those 5 tips that we told about. Actually, we've already given you a bunch of them. Yeah. And Gualberto, some of these are going to do. Yeah, I do a deep breathing yoga practice because you teach yoga in Oaxaca. Perfect. Actually, I see your symbol. Guy is a bit like a yoga symbol. Okay, so what about dry eye? Breathing with, and also if you coordinate your breathing and your counts for breathing are not seconds but heartbeats, it's very, very good. Yeah. So sometimes in yoga classes, for example, they tell you breathe in 4 times, hold the breath 4 times, breathe out 4 times, and hold the breath 4 times. If instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4 in your mind or with your clock, you're actually following the times with your heartbeat, you are coordinating 2 rhythmic systems in your body, your breathing and your heartbeat. And then it creates coherence, which makes the whole body be a lot more relaxed. So that's an amazing practice that you can do too. And it's good for your eyesight. Yawning. This is the perfect time of the day to yawn and stretch. That also is good. It's the eye and moan and sigh. It also is going to create moist or humidity in your eyes. Gualberto, so that's very good if you have dry eyes. Looking far, we already mentioned this. The resting position of the eyes is looking far. If you can look outside an open window, it's perfect. If you don't have an open window with natural sunlight at hand, at least look at the further corners of the room. Yeah. The blinking, we already said, and that's also very good when you have dry eye. Gualberto. Laughing and crying, very important, not only for the dry eye. Every time we laugh, we have more tears, and every time we cry, of course, we have tears. They're different tears, but they're good for the eyes. And actually, the eyes have 2 functions, seeing and expressing emotions. When you inhibit the one, you inhibit the other. So if you keep yourself from crying, laughing, or feeling whatever it is that you're feeling, you're also blocking the experience of seeing. We'll talk more about this in lesson number 3. Yeah, so express your emotions, cry, laugh, allow the movement to happen. So for the dry eye, also having a humidifier at home, if you have less than 40% humidity in your room, it could be helpful. And another thing, memory and imagination. The visual cortex that handles the images or the light impulses that are transformed into nervous impulses, yeah, from the retina to the optic nerve, they go to the visual cortex. Actually, the optic nerve is connected with 85% of the brain, but anyway, the part that handles the images is very related with memory and imagination. We remember in images and emotions from the past, and we call for the future with our imagination, also with images and emotion. So when we practice imagination and memory, yawn, Pamela, don't think
I want to be rude.
you're teaching people to allow the yawning because it's really good for eyesight, yeah? So
Thank you. Yes.
memory and imagination are related with also eyesight. So when we cultivate it, we can see better too. And you can yawn. Happy hour for yawning, happy hour. Also, very important, keep a positive focus. Pay attention at what you do see. People sometimes say, if I remove my glasses, I'm blind as a bat. False. If you remove your glasses, you see movement, you see contrast, you see color, you see a bunch of things. So acknowledge and be grateful for what you do see and track what you see more and better every day. Yeah? Keep the focus on the positive things that you want, because your consciousness is like Google. It will give you the answer of the thing that you're searching for. So if you're searching for seeing more and more and acknowledging that you see more and more, it will give you more of that. If you say I'm blind as a bat, it will give you more of that. You don't want that, right? Okay, sleep in the darkness. We already mentioned this. Use blinds, blindfolds, no light, no electronics, and use glasses as little as possible. Okay, so we're coming to the end. Just a few more things so we can all go to yawn and stretch and sleep. Blink. Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to free lesson number 2 to release it. And in lesson number 2, we're going to talk about false myths and limiting beliefs about eyesight. Several people said today that we were the first to acknowledge. Okay, Pamela, what you were telling me, please give me the link for that, because I asked for it earlier and I don't see it. Okay, but anyway, so many of you have acknowledged that I'm the first to actually talk to you about things you suspected, but you've been told the opposite. Yeah, so in lesson number 2, we're going to go deeper into the false myths and limiting beliefs about eyesight that are very common. Yeah, bien. Tomorrow, we're also going to teach you the second star technique or queen technique of natural vision improvement, and it has to do with the sun. We already mentioned it a little bit, but we'll go in detail there. We are going to teach you also 3 exercises that will allow you to see better, even if you practice them in 5 minutes. And we believe so much in this practice that we're even going to provide you with eye charts and small prints. Okay, so eye charts where you can evaluate the transformation of your vision. You have some at hand, Pamela? The small print characters? Okay. So you will be seeing before and after practicing the technique, how you can see so much better the small print. Yeah? Okay, you are also going to learn, we'll provide the art charts, and you are going to learn also the instant focusing technique, something that you can do. Blinking can sometimes provide instant sharpness, but if it doesn't, we'll teach you something you can do with just your body, without glasses, without contacts, to see perfectly well in a moment, and much, much more. Okay, so in order to be able to take the most, to make the most of this free 4-part masterclass, you need to be registered to the ClearSightMethod.com to the Wake Up Your Eyes free class. Yes? Is there a recording to tomorrow's live? Yes, we're going to deliver a video on your email. That's why we want to be registered, and we'll do a live also here. Yeah? Is there a recording? Yes, but you'll make the most of it if you participate live. And if the video doesn't open, well, make sure that you click on the right part of the page. Yes? Does it work for your symptom? Yes, it does. Any symptom. If you have the eye in the eye socket connected to your brain through the optic nerve, even if you only have one eye, you can improve your eyesight. Yes? Does it work at your age? Yes, it does. At any age, from birth to death, you can, well, if you're dead, not anymore, but before that, I've had people improving their eyesight at age 98. Even one of my students had her mother at 100 years old. She improved her eyesight. Yes, so you can do it really at any age. Does it work if you've had surgery? Yes, it does. You can improve your eyesight after surgery. Yes, Heidi's like, oh God, I can't attend tomorrow. Okay, so yes, make sure to register so you can see the recording, and then you don't have to miss anything. Yeah, actually, we're going to give you a number of links that you probably want to snapshot so you can follow us on Facebook and YouTube and even see testimonials of plenty of people that have improved or all kinds of symptoms at all kinds of ages. Yes, and you can see for yourself. But the important question is, how would you like for your eyesight to transform? Can you imagine driving without glasses, using the phone without glasses? Living life without glasses, practicing sports, playing instruments, doing whatever you like, how free you will feel, and how you will inspire your family to do the same. Imagine if you've suffered from having to wear glasses for 40 years, like Diana, how would your life have been different? Yeah, show them again. So there's at least like half a dozen of glasses. Yeah. How much money you have saved, how much happier you would have been without that. And if you can do it, you can prove to your family that it's possible and be an example and model of inspiration. Yes, and get rid of the glasses. Exactly. Or keep them as a souvenir so you can show off that you actually made it. Yeah, like
yeah. There are more because since I was 8 years old till now, there are more of this. So,
and how will you feel seeing better? How empowered, how free, how young, how vibrant seeing better? So again, are you interested? Are you engaged? Are you just going to be curious here? Or are you going to make the most out of this free 4-part masterclass? Yes, Cindy's like, I wear bifocals. Will this help my eyes? Absolutely. You hate wearing glasses. Well, you're in the right place. You can get rid of the bifocals, the reading glasses, any kind of prescription glasses, progressive glasses, contacts. This is what this course is for. And so we have this free 4-part masterclass that we're teaching this week between now and Saturday. And we're also going to invite you, if you want, to join a more in-depth program. And the in-depth program is a paid program. So you can do all these practices and exercises, how they work, and maybe this is enough for you and you don't need anything else. If that's the case, great. And if you need more, in the emails that we're sharing, actually, you can find the link to also check out the advanced program. If you want, I can post it here too, if you want to check out the paid advanced program. But in any case, tomorrow we're back with the free classes, yes, and you're going to be learning more for free. So again, in the free class tomorrow, you are going to learn, yes, all these things, the false myths, limiting beliefs, the second star technique, 3 exercises to see better, the eye charts will provide the instant focusing technique, and Thursday and Friday and Saturday will be teaching you a lot more for free. Okay, so now, are you going to be there tomorrow to keep learning? Yeah, to keep improving your eyesight, to keep learning more techniques that you can apply, that you can teach your family. Yes? Well, I really look forward to seeing you there. And make sure to mark your calendar, register to the free course, follow us, yes, on YouTube, on Facebook. You can check out the testimonials that we have. And if you have any questions or any problems, you can contact us also to our standard email, ainhoa@clearsightmethod.com. So you'd like to learn more? Stay connected. Yes. And I would love to hear what you got, what stays with what we talked about in today's session. Was it a testimonial, a concept, a tip, a technique? And in any case, congratulations, you made it. Here where I am, it's almost 8 o'clock. So we've been talking for almost 2 hours and you are here still alive. We're watching the recording. So congratulations. I acknowledge your commitment, you betting on your eyesight, your well-being, your health. It is amazing. Do you want to say a final words, Pamela or Diana? He's like, the positive energy is so great. Absolutely. So there's more coming tomorrow. Free video in your email and live sessions again tomorrow and this week. You want to say a final word, Pamela or Diana? Thank you for being here with me today.
But what I want to say, I know, is that if you already experience good things with palming and only one this lesson number one, the next lesson, you will love it. Believe me, you will love it. So stay tuned.
Yes, we have a bunch of more practices and ideas that are literally eye-opening. So stay with us and keep learning. And so take care, be happy, enjoy the beauty of life, and we'll see you tomorrow better and better. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you and congratulations for being here. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.